students of the college and your commitment, sacrifices, and loyalty gave meaning to our collective efforts. Today's event is not about me alone. It is about all of us who labored to move Bayero University forward since numerous expectations and unprecedented global challenges.
Highlight of the event include presentation of awards to some promoted.
In a statement released, the Secretary of the Recruitment Committee, Gandhi Mohammed, said the process was aimed at providing employment opportunities for qualified indigents of the state. He also stated that interested applicants are expected to obtain forms free of charge from the local governments of origin before completing the application process online at official httemployment.sokotostategovernment.com. And now moving to Imo State, where the police command says it is winning the battle against crime. At a press briefing in Owerri, Commissioner of Police in the state, Aboki Danjuma, announced the arrest of more than 700 suspects in just 2 months, alongside the rescue of kidnapped victims and the recovery of weapons. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, completes the details of the report.
According to Commissioner of Police Aboki Danjuma, the suspects were linked to crime and ESN, murder and other violence offences. He said 9 kidnapped victims and 7 stolen children were rescued, while firearms, ammunition, explosives, stolen motorcycles, laptops, charms and hard drugs were Igwe, Mbitolu and Njaba local government areas. He explained that 16 suspects, including sub-commanders, were captured in Uguta after a fierce gun battle. A notorious kingpin was also arrested in Mbitolu, while
security agencies. The command also dislodged iPod, ESN camps, kidnapping, dancing Okigwe, Mbitoli, Owerri West, Njaba local governments, and other areas in the state, striking decisive blow to the capacity for further attacks. On 16th of September, the executive governor of Imo State, in which he sent one of his representatives here to witness this event. His Excellency, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, for his consistent support in welfare and logistics, which has greatly boosted our operational capacity. I also thank the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, PhD, whose guidance has been instrumental to our successes.
the commissioner assured residents that security agencies will sustain the momentum until peace and safety are fully restored across the state. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
In a world of constant scrolling, streaming, and social media buzz, the question of whether Nigerians are still reading remains on the table. While some believe the reading culture is fading, others argue it is only evolving into new forms. Global Television's Obong Usoro reports.
Nigeria's literary tradition is celebrated worldwide, but concerns linger whether the younger generation is sustaining it. Critics point to shorter attention span and a shift away from the books, while many young Nigerians insist that reading is far from dead.
From my experience, and because I am still in school, from what I have seen, most of them still read. I don't think we have more first class or more students that read as much as they did, like I said, as they did back in the day.
For others, technology is reshaping the culture. E-books, audiobooks, and online platforms are creating fresh avenues for accessing knowledge and literature.
Some years past, I know people hardly read, more especially in terms of your phone. Everybody preferred like all this kind of video stuff and everything, but nowadays I would say that people are trying to imbibe in reading like the old times, because they are more into the books than what people can normally say and all those kind of stuff.
Educationists are balancing digital platforms with traditional reading as a key to reviving Nigeria's reading culture. ensuring that knowledge survives in an age of distractions. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Now, fire disasters remain a recurring tragedy across Nigeria, from crowded markets to office buildings and residential areas, leaving destruction and heartbreak in their wake. The question is, however, how can these outbreaks be prevented? Our correspondent, Sadiala Yakubu, takes a look at what can be done to prevent such recurring incidents and files in this report.
Over the years, fire incidents have become a common trend Nigerians are familiar with, often as a result of factors that could be prevented. Buildings and properties are reduced to ashes. According to experts, these incidents are as a result of poor electrical wiring, absence of fire extinguishers, and lack of emergency exits in crowded spaces, among others. Weak enforcement of building codes and poor access to firefighting facilities also contribute to these outbreaks.
A lot of the causes of the fire outbreak is actually negligence by people. Some people are very negligent and they leave things like their gases and different things out, and they're not very careful. And I think it can be prevented when people are more careful. Like, people should actually put precaution, and they should know that, like, when fire incidents happen, a lot of people lose their lives, lose their properties and things that they've worked hard for.
To curb these recurring tragedies, safety experts are calling for stricter building regulations, mandatory fire alarms and extinguishers in public spaces, and more fire stations equipped with modern technology. They also emphasized the need for awareness campaigns and regular community fire drills.
I think the fire service, provide like regular emergency drills for the people in the building or in an organization, and also we should have like the body go regularly to check, do like a regular check to make sure those fire systems actually working.
Beyond government action, communities too have a role to play, from volunteer fire brigades to market safety committees and early warning systems. Grassroots involvement could significantly reduce the fire risk.
While fire outbreaks may never be completely eliminated, their impact can be minimized with stronger equipment and a collective culture of safety. Nigerians can begin to break the cycle of reoccurring fire disaster. Sadia Yakubu, Global Television News.
Now moving to a more cheering event where it was an evening of camaraderie, nostalgia and celebration as the 47th regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy held its reunion dinner and awards presentation. The event, marked by elegance and military tradition, brought together officers, their families and distinguished guests to reflect on 30 years of shared service, sacrifice and achievement. Samuel Odi was there for Global Television.
The reunion dinner served not only as a social gathering but also as an opportunity to honor outstanding members and recognize the enduring bond formed since their cadet days. With cultural performances, tributes and awards, the event highlighted the values of loyalty, discipline and service that have guided the Corps members through their military and post-service careers. The high point of the evening featured goodwill messages from the chairman organizing committee, Commodore Ahmed Madawaki, who underscores the group's significance of unity, sacrifice and national service.
On this rare occasion where we have gathered not only to reminisce over the past, but to rekindle bonds of friendship and also to bring our families into our folds as we move forward on the march of life and progress.
The special guest of honor, Air Marshal Al-Amin Dagash, says it was a great honor for him to be the commandant of the 47th regular course of 1995 and also reuniting with them 3 decades later.
I have been fortunate and privileged to witness firsthand the transformation that occurred from your first year to your final year, and now as senior officers in the Nigerian Armed Forces. Your training at the Nigerian Defense Academy was not just about theory, but practical military leadership, friendship that will last a lifetime, and the personal discoveries that helped shape your character.
The group's president, Brigadier General Olakunle Oluseyi Nafiu, urged the group to keep the flame of unity alive and continue to be ambassadors of discipline, loyalty and patriotism wherever they find themselves.
On behalf of 47 Regular Force. I wish to say a very big thank you to you for your selfless, dedicated and committed service to the cause, and for making this evening and the activities we've had these past 3 days possible. Thank you.
The night ended with appointment of new executive members, laughter, awards, music and dancing, but above all, the renewed bond of friendship and collective promise to keep the legacy of 47's regular course alive. For many, it was just not a reunion, but a reaffirmation of the value that bind them together as officers, friends and brothers. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. When the Midday News returns, Nigeria, Ghana, others position for livestock export. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital. I am Mukhtar Kasim. And now to business news, where Nigeria is intensifying efforts to become a global player in livestock export as part of its wider push to diversify the economy away from oil. A joint study by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development project that global per capita consumption of animal source food will rise by 6% by 2034, with lower middle-income countries expected to boost a dramatic 24% increase. Now, analysts say rising global demands for meat and dairy offers Nigeria a chance to unlock a multi-billion naira export industry while strengthening food security at home. And now to news making rounds on the international scene. Polling stations have closed in Guinea after a referendum on a new constitution that could pave the way for elections, but also allow the country's junta leader, General Mamadi Doumbouya, to return and run for president. Our correspondent completes the story.
Voting was held under tight security, with 45,000 officers deployed and heavy military presence visible across the capital, Conakry, and beyond. Some 6.7 million Guineans were eligible to cast their vote, though turnout varied across the country. The yes campaign dominated the street with rallies, posters, and music, while the no campaign was limited mostly to social media and exiled voices abroad. Opposition parties had called for a boycott, accusing the military government of suppressing dissent through arrests, bans, and media crackdown. Still, many citizens turned out hoping for an end to the military transition that began in 2021 when Doumbouya seized power from elected President Alpha Condé. Critics argued that the draft constitutions opened the door for Doumbouya's candidacy, while supporters say it will restore the constitutional order after 4 years of junta rule. Provisional results of the referendum are expected Tuesday evening. For many Guineans, the outcome will decide not only the country's political future, but also whether military rule finally gives way to civilian leadership. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Let's now head to Europe, where in a landmark decision, Britain has formally recognized the State of Palestine, marking a major shift in decades of British foreign policy. Our correspondent completes the story.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the recognition in a video message posted on X, saying the move is intended to revive the hope of peace through a two-state solution, a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state.
I set out in July the terms upon which we would act in line with our manifesto to recognize Palestinian statehood. That moment has now arrived. So today, to revive the hope of peace and a two-state solution, I state clearly, as Prime Minister of this great country, that the United Kingdom formally recognizes the State of Palestine. We recognized the State of Israel more than 75 years ago as a homeland for the Jewish people. Today, we join over 150 countries who recognize a Palestinian state also.
The Prime Minister also condemned Hamas as a brutal terror organization, vowing tougher sanctions, and reiterated his call for the release of hostages taken in the October 7 attack. The announcement comes hours after Canada and Australia also recognized Palestinian statehood, sparking immediate criticism from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who warned the move would endanger Israel's security. But Starmer insisted the recognition was not a reward for Hamas, stressing that the militant group would play no role in a future Palestinian state. With violence continuing in Gaza and Israeli settlement expanding in the West Bank, Starmer warned that the hope of a two-state solution is fading, saying Britain cannot allow the vision to disappear. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Away from Europe to Asia, where China's top internet regulator has announced a sweeping 2-month crackdown on social media, vowing to combat content containing malicious incitement of conflict and negative outlook on life, such as world weariness. Beijing requires social media companies to moderate content on their platforms, with posts strictly controlled to avoid anything deemed to be too subversive, vulgar, pornographic, or generally harmful. The notice from the Cyberspace Administration of China follows an announcement of penalties this month against 3 popular digital platforms, which it says neglected content management duties. And now to the world of sport, where for the first time in the event's history, the Oakley Fitness Fiesta will be held in the capital city of Abuja on Saturday, October 4. The event will be held at the Mona Lisa Amusement Park, Dikko Road, Abuja, starting 8 a.m. at the pharmaceutical firms spread the message of healthy living and a vibrant lifestyle. Organizers say they are anticipating between 400 to 500 participants in Abuja, including fitness enthusiasts, healthcare professionals, families, and members of the public who are interested in healthier living. Now, with just over a month to go, excitement is building ahead of the Champions Cup match between Barcelona legend and African legends in Abuja. Brazilian football star Ronaldinho has been confirmed as one of the first players to feature in the exhibition game, and other former Barcelona players scheduled for October 25 at the Moshood National Stadium, Abuja. The squad will be led by Barcelona legend coach Albert Ferrer, with an additional names expected. And now away from football to cricket, where has been re-elected for a second term in office. Akpata emerged unopposed, which led by ITC, with 12 other board members also emerging to steer the affairs federation for the next 4 years. And that's it on the midday news on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using Global Television NG. I am Mukhtar Qasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.